Alright, welcome back. This is Cult of Elections. And in today's video, it's time to be a crowd pleaser. That's right. So based on my previous poll, most of my viewers not only thought Democrats would win the 2024 election, but they also consider themselves to lean more Democrat themselves. So, we're going to do a best case scenario for Democrats. And no, this doesn't include, if Republicans nominate a literal, an actual white supremacist or an actual Nazi. Someone, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, where this map would, essentially be almost all blue. Because we know, we can think back to certain elections like Alabama. When Doug Jones won the Senate seat there, his opponent was, that was something else. But this is going to be a more realistic view of, how I see their best case. Because really their best case is if, you have someone absolutely bonkers on the other side. And I'm just going to do some, more realistic. So we're going to start with all the safe Democratic states. We're going to throw in the typical ones. Anything that I've had leaning in previous ones is just, automatically that. I'm not going to forget DC this time. I tend to do that. And Illinois as well. Also going to put Maine's 1st district in there. And then we're going to throw some, probably not shockers. If they continue their trends on the presidential level that they've had recently, then you can throw New Mexico, Colorado, and Virginia right into the safe Democratic hold there. And then we could even throw Maine at large in there. I think this one's kind of a stretch, but, it could happen. And here we go. Let's go with some safe Republican states. So, best case scenario, Democrats aren't gonna win. They just aren't gonna win these. It's and then the 3rd district there. They're not even gonna come close. Louisiana is maybe kind of one teetering that could be on the likely side, but I'll throw it on the safe for now. And right off the spot here, I'm actually going to change my opinion. First likely state, Louisiana. That's if they get black turnout, such as Georgia. I think, it is a proven fact that people who live in like certain safe states or districts, because they feel like their vote doesn't matter, won't turn out to vote as much as people who live in, say, Pennsylvania or Nevada or Arizona, those kinds of things. And I guess Georgia is a better example. But, if a couple polls came that way, then it could be likely. And, alright, let's go ahead and put Democrats over the top here with the likely... maybe they're not quite over the top. We'll see. Likely Democratic states. You have the Rust Belt. It would take one hell of a candidate to make this go looking like this. I don't think Minnesota would quite be safe, but almost there. Yeah, it would take one good candidate to do that. And okay, looks like I was correct. Because Maine's 2nd district, it could go likely. New Hampshire, I think, would barely just not cross over the safe margin. Perhaps it's possible. We're changing things on the fly here, so let's throw New Hampshire to the safe, actually. Always forgetting a state or two. And then finally we have Nevada and the likely. Yes, so that would put Democrats over the top here at 276. And then let's splatter some likely Republican. I'm going to pick out some states here that were kind of close to being likely or even did turn out to be likely. South Carolina, cough cough, in 2020. Mississippi almost there. Indiana almost there. Missouri was almost there. Kansas. Let me see. Kansas was there if you consider 15 points to be the cutoff for likely. Kansas was there. Montana wasn't quite. Alaska was only a 10-point race. And I left off Utah here. I think given a certain spoiler candidate named Evan, this could go likely. But that's only if that. And I think that's a somewhat realistic possibility. And then let's go ahead and hit some lean Democrat states. There's a few of them. You got your new Democratic ones, Georgia and Arizona, which appear gleamingly purple, but Democrats have barely won each time. If the trends continue, it's possible to move them into the lean margin. I mean, look at Mark Kelly. It's possible, and it is possible on the presidential side. And North Carolina, well, in my personal opinion, I think it would stay. It's just close enough that this could easily flip, given the right candidate. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to leave off certain states. I'm just going to jump around here. Nebraska's second. Categorize that as likely. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Nebraska's first. Yes, likely. And then, now that I'm here, Nebraska's second would be likely Democrat in this what-if scenario. So, okay. I think, in terms of these few states left, what might seem the most obvious is Florida. I'm going to be straight up with you. Democrats are not going to win Florida in 2024 or for the foreseeable future. It's simply put, it's just gone. Ron DeSantis, during the pandemic, brought a ton of people over there to move in, and these people moved in specifically for his policies. And this showed in the 2022 race. And so, who is the best bet at Democrats winning Florida? Nikki Fried, who couldn't even win her primary. And then again, she wouldn't even have beaten DeSantis anyways. So, yeah. To be honest, I don't think it's happening. I really don't. And then we can jump into what might seem like a more obvious, but considering what happened with Mary Peltola, that is possible too. It would take a considerable swing, but we now see what a certain damaging candidate such as Sarah Palin can do to a state like Alaska. And I mean, it happened. So who says it can't happen again? Let's categorize Ohio. Ohio is a more purple state. Maybe lately it's been trending more Republican. However, I think that one could tilt to the Democrats. On the presidential side, it's been pretty considerable, about 8 points. But, they've had statewide Democratic victories recently. So, I think that's possible. And then we have Iowa. I think on the presidential side, Iowa seems pretty far gone, but given a really horrible candidate, it could tilt to Republicans. yeah, I really think Iowa is just. I think it's kind of built a solid ground of what identity it is in terms of politics, and it seems like likely Republican is here to stay. But give it a really horrible candidate the tilt. And then we are going to categorize Texas. Oh, Texas. I have previously stated in my videos that I think Texas has at least one more run in it on the presidential side for Republicans. And I think that's going to remain. But it is possible that it moves a few more points to the left to bring it to a tilt margin. So yes, perhaps not the bluest map that some people would expect clicking on this video, but I'm just trying to bring it to a more realistic thing. Because, I mean, like you could put a lot of what was likely Republican states in the blue side and be like, oh, this is the best they could do, but how likely is that to happen unless you have an absolute buffoon on the other side? It's just not. Simply put, it's just not. But let me know what you guys think. Yes, I will do one for the Republicans. But other than that, hope you have a good one, and peace.